Okay. So today, like I was saying, we've been doing most of our analysis on TradingView. And from the input we got from the last class, right? I've noted that it will also do us well if we start to do most of our analysis on the Royal Q platform. But since we can't do a fully completed analysis on Royal Q because of the limitation on the tools on Royal Q, I will show you how you can use most of the indicators and what you are going to see on the platform to be able to leader Temitope, can't you hear me? Or is it your network? Because everybody here they dropped one. I think you also dropped one earlier. Can you hear me clearly, everybody? So our analysis today will be done on the Royal Q platform. So we actually got to the section where we should be talking about confluences. So where we should have been talking about the choke. So definitely, if I was using our trading view based on the strategy we are teaching you, which is SMC, most of the confluences we give you on trading view is actually where you can spot liquidity, and we can definitely use most indicators like RSI and the Bollinger Bands, and also the MACD, the moving average divergence, to also have confluences, which is confirmations to trade, or even our simple moving average, the SMA, or the exponential moving average. But in most cases, I personally I use the SMA or the MA to do my analysis. So definitely, I will be showing us today how we can use those our indicators as confluences, as things that we can see on our charts, and where and how to use them to enter trades. So now I'll be sharing my screen, and I will definitely show us the scenarios where we can use and the so let's open our this is our Royal Q platform, the interface. So I can pick any pair from here, and we'll use that as an example, and we go through all of the indicators that are really relevant and that work. So from here in the chat box, to make the class really interactive, everybody here just type any coin of your choice so that we can pick that and use that as our first example, and then we then break down our indicators that we'll be using. BTC USDT. Okay, we have someone who said BTC USDT. Please type in the chat box if you have a preference of coin you think we should analyze first using our indicators as confluences. Dave said link USDT. Okay, we have two coins already. Please type in the chat box the coin you would like us to use for the analysis. So up till now, the last class we talked about break of structure. I think it's either we talked about break of structure. Yeah, we did talk about break of structure the last time. So and our other block as well, we spot that on, and the next topic was supposed to be our confluences, which should have been our change of character and our fair value gap, which is the how we spot liquidity, you spotting our institutional candle in the markets as confluences, but today we'll be using our indicators, relevant indicators that are on our charts on our Royal Q platform as entry confirmations to enter a trade. And the indicators that we'll be using as follows: the RSI, the Bollinger Bands, and also the MACD. But then I'll also be explaining briefly to us our moving average, or our SMA, which is the simple moving average, or just the moving average. So let me go back to our charts. Just confirm to me that you can see my screen already. So the coins we have on our list, we have BTC, we have Link, and we have Bonk. Okay, no problem. Definitely. So our first pick was on BTC. So here I'll just definitely type BTC. Okay, I'll type I understand. And then here we have BTC charts. And we have, this is 15 minutes, right? Now I'll just take off all the indicators that we are having here, and we have a plain chart. And the time frame on here, okay, we have a different time frame on here on our charts. So a breakdown, quick breakdown on this screen here that I'm sharing. For us to see, I'll take a screenshot and show us what we are talking about here. So just merely looking at our interface here for the new people, the newbies that are in the house. So I'll just quickly break down what we are looking at here. So we are looking at our BTC chart here, and what we have here is the pair that we are trading, which is BTC. And you can see at the top, which is paired with the USDC. So we have BTC, which is pairing with USDC. USDT is still the same thing. And we are on a 15 minutes time frame. We are on the 15 minutes time frame, and it's bad yellow, blue, sorry. So, and I'm using my marker to mark it out. So we have different time frame here, and you can see that we are currently on the 15 minutes time frame, and we have other time frames here as well. And we can see the highest high that the market created, which is around 119,841. And we also see the current market price, which is standing at around 117,579 71 cents. And we can see all our indicators that we'll be talking about this evening lined up here at the bottom. We can see all our indicators lined up here at the bottom. We have firstly our MA here, which is the moving average. We also have our Bollinger Band, and we have our volume, we have our MACD, we have KDJ, and we have RSI, and we have our WR. But the indicators that we'll be talking about this evening are specifically the MA, the Bollinger Bands, and the MACD, and the RSI, which I'll be circling right here. So we have our MA, we have our Bollinger Bands, we have our MACD, and we have our RSI. So I'll be talking about these 4 indicators tonight and how we can use them to pick trades. So right here, the first indicators we'll be using for us will be our MA, which is our moving average. Right here, different period are being marked out on this MA, which it making everything really complicated here, because there are different period plotted in our MA here. But first thing you want to first look at when you are looking at your moving average, which is also the same thing as the SMA, which is the simple moving average, still the same thing, the same, just different terminology, but the same thing. We are looking at our 15 minutes here. So here you want to, when you are using multiple moving average, when you are using multiple time on moving average, right? We have, what you will notice here, first, up here, you can see in yellow, right, up here, it says MA5 and it says MA10, and we also have MA20 here, and we have MA30. Okay, so I would explain to you what these things, what they mean in a minute. So the MA5 that you are seeing here, firstly, what you want to know about moving average is that there's a mathematical theory behind this indicator, right? Which is the period, right? These are these are averages on price, right? We have this MA5, which is actually calculating, is calculating the last five candles, right? The last five candles, depending on the time frame. So we're having 15 minutes time frame here. So our MA5 is calculating the average price of this asset we are trading, which is BTC. So it's calculating and it's picking the average of the last 5 days, 5 candles. Sorry. So the MA5 here. So if I zoom in very well right now on this screen, okay. So you can see that. Let me. I took the screenshot, and I'm circling out this moving average, which is MA5, and we have the price here. So the price of the assets is what I'm underlining beneath, and the MA, which is standing for moving average, the 5 is the last 5 candles, right? Which is represented by this one of these candles. I would have been able to explain this better on TradingView, but I will try all my possible best to make sure I'm explaining this to you. You see, one of these green candles, one of these lines that you're seeing here, is representing this MA, right? It's representing this MA, which is the last 5 candles. The last 5 candles. Look at here. If you see where this candle is being plotted at, the closing price. So our moving average is calculates the last 5 candles, right? Where price is closed on each candle, the last 5 candles. It calculates where price is closed. Like for example, now I have BTC, right? And these candles, right? We are on 15 minutes time frame, and each candlestick that you are seeing on my screen lasts 15 minutes, right? Each candle, the buying one, which is the green, the bearish one, which is the red, right? They all last 15 minutes depending on the time frame we are looking at. So if I was to be looking at 1 minute, I'll be saying each candle that is here is being represented by the time. Okay, just understand that, because all the other indicators that you see, most of them are based off of moving average. Just understand this. So now, there are different variables, right? There are different variables uh, when we are doing our averages, when we are calculating average, right? Whenever we are trading any assets in the financial market that is very volatile, you want to reduce the noise, right? You want to reduce the noise because the price is moving really fast. So you want to be able to average prices, right? So for you to be able to average price and reduce the noise of the price to know where the market is heading, right? You want to be able to average down. So now, if I want to look at the 5 MA, which is the MA5, which is the moving average 5, right? I want to plot a line on the closing price of this asset in the last 5 period. So in the last 15 minutes, how has this price moved, right? So the last 15, so we have, if I was to be plotting on the 5 candles, right? Which means I'll do one candle stands for 15 minutes. I want to do 15, 15, 15 and 5 times, right? So I want to, my MA now will be plotted around that 5 time, okay? So now the same thing is being done for the 10 MA here on the 15 minutes chart. So now I know that every candlestick here lasts 15 minutes, right? But then I have different periods here, right? And they are being represented in different. So one thing you just want to know is that here, up here, the price is the average price of this asset in the last 5 period, in the last 15 minutes in 5 times. So we have to do 15 times 5. So the last 5 candles, this printed in 15 minutes chart, this is the average here, which is 117,926. 117,926. So the last average in so this is how this thing, so, and this is the 20 period, and this is the 30 period, okay? And if I was to look at another time frame here, so on and so forth, okay? So on and so forth. So if I was to look at 1 hour as well, I want to just look at what you want to know is that this price, this moving average is just is giving you the average price of BTC in the last 5 period, which means BTC, if I was looking at just this MA5, the price here that I'm looking at represented here is the average price of BTC in the last 5 period. And here MA10 is giving me the average of BTC in the last 10 period on our 1 hour time frame, which is here. So each candlestick here lasts 1 hour. Okay. So if I was looking at the MA10, I know that I'll be counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, and in fact, it will be plotted on the closing price. Okay, so now if I average and I know that okay, BTC is doing 110 in the last 118,000 in the last 10 period, and is doing 117 in the last 5 period, and is doing 118, is averaging this price, it gives me the direction of the market. Okay, so is this market, is it moving uptrend or is it going downtrend? So now, how can I use MA? So now we can see that these are different time period. Let me see. Okay, I can't hear anything. Ijoma, and can you still hear me? Can everybody still hear me? Can everybody confirm that they can hear me clearly? Please, if you can hear me, just indicate in the chat box.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so on our MA.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So our MA, we know that the average price is being calculated here. So I want to see the higher the time frame. So now if my MA5 is giving me 17,000 and my 10 period is giving me 118,000, and my MA20 is giving me 118, and my 30 period MA30 is giving me 118. I know that market is dropping right now because why? If the price is reducing, right? The price is reducing in the last 5 period. The last 5 period is giving me, price has been averaging 117 in the last 5 period, and the price was higher in the last 30 period. I know that this is a clear indication that price is dropping. If it's not increasing in the lower term, in the shorter term, the shorter time here now will be the MA5. Sorry. So the shorter time is the MA5. The shorter period here is my MA5, and it's giving me 117. And the higher now, the following one would then be my MA10 and M20, then M30. So the higher the price that we are going right now, we see that okay, from the higher period is been decreasing. We know that price is dropping. So you want to wait and see a crossover. So if the shorter period crosses the higher period, we know that it's a clear trend for us to enter a trade, right? So around here, there were crossovers here, but the thing here is I can't really manipulate these indicators on our Royal Q platform.
Leader Abiola, we can't see your screen any longer.
You can't see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, sure, I'm coming. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes, you can see your screen now.
Okay, so the concept here, the reason why I'm giving you a clear example of the MA is just to understand the concept behind the moving average, because it's going to help us understand the other indicators, which will be the clear indicators that I will be giving you to make sure that you are able to use for your entry. Okay, just understand how your moving average works, and then for the crossovers, on how you can use your crossover, because once you are using too much moving average, it's very confusing. But for us to get a clearer moving average, because look here, I take off this moving average because look at the period that are being plotted here. Just the lines alone is very confusing. But the simple ones that also are using moving average, look here. You see, on Bollinger Bands, we have moving average. On MACD, we have moving average. Even on RSI, there is moving average plotted within it. So, and I will show you the importance of you just understanding moving average. And this is something that I'm putting to everybody. Go on online, search, make research also on moving average. Know how your moving averages work. I just give you just a quick overview on how moving average works and how they plot them. So moving average really works in a way that on price now, we are using moving average on price. So the variables, the last variables in price, these are what are being calculated. So for example, if I have BTC and it's very volatile, and there's a lot of history, like past data on BTC, right? I don't want to calculate everything on BTC. I want to calculate some X amount of time on BTC. So now, if I'm using just the MA5, right, I'm calculating just the last 5 period, which means where the price where BTC closed in the last 5 candles, like in the last 1 hour. So now if I know that I'm on 1 hour time frame, I want to just know where prices where BTC closed in the last 5 candles, right? So what did it do in the last 5 times? If I want to use MA10, where the price closed in the last 10 candles. So now, and then I will average everything, and the average price now will give me a broader look on what happened. So is this market, is it being bullish? So if I now compare the prices after picking my variables, which is the prices, the closing prices, so that I break it down and I do the average, and I know, okay, this is the average of this price here. So I will have a broader view. Instead of looking at everything, I'll be able to determine, is this giving me a bullish trend, or is it giving me a bearish trend? So now, for us to now pick the trend, once we use our MA to determine the trend, by just and what I would recommend for you, if you are just using just MA, which is the moving average, is to use the higher average. Okay, if you are using the shorter time you are using, the more confusing it is, because it will giving you more data. But if you are using like 20 MA and the 50 MA, it will just plus price in the last 50 candles. Okay, so now let's go to the main deal. I just want to break that down. So now let's go to Bollinger Bands, which is even the fun part, where the fun part is. But know that if on Royal Q is being defaulted, okay, it's being defaulted. The settings here you cannot manipulate. But if you are using your trading view, you can definitely manipulate the settings and be able to so if you know, I'll just give you a quick example on how these Bollinger Bands work. So Bollinger Bands actually is uses a mathematical theory behind this, which is the bear curve. So the bear curve is used to also calculate variables, right? The bear curve, you use it to determine what is an average price. In fact, using the standard deviation. So in fact, there are two. So this upper band that you are seeing here and this lower band that you are seeing here are moving average, and there are 20 moving averages. Okay, and the bear curve that is drawn within this price is on 2 standard deviations. Okay, it's on 2 standard deviation, and it's plotted this, and there's a moving average that is being plotted at the middle. Okay, which is the 14 moving average. And the way Bollinger Band works is that it's being plotted this way because we are expecting price to trade between this deviation, because we believe that price is going to always average within this range. Okay, so now for you to use Bollinger Bands to trade, it's very simple. Okay, you want to wait to pick trades. This is a very perfect trade for you to pick. In fact, you can see whenever prices touches the lower band, which is this band here, this line, this moving average, this 20 beneath, it's a downtrend indication. And so the theory about on trading is that the idea behind trade is that you want to buy low and sell high. In fact, when price go to this lower band, what did the price do? It skyrocketed. So you want to buy here and sell at the top band. And if you were to be trading futures, this is a clear entry for you. You take your entry from here. You take your entry from your lower band, and you take your exits off when it gets to the upper band. And in fact, when it got to the upper band here, you see what it did. Price came back down. And here, this is a great price for you. And you are buying in a very discounted price here. And once it touches the lower band, you should be expecting what price to go back up here, and your exit price should be at the upper band again. Do anybody understand this? So just knowing that, okay, yeah, I just explained the moving average, and I told you that what I will be recommending is that you use bigger moving average, right? The bigger periods, right? And I explained to you what is your moving average and how it's being calculated. Okay, so now on our Bollinger Bands, what is the mathematics behind it is our standard deviations. It is also there's also moving average plotted within it, which is 20 period. On Royal Q here, since I can't really determine what is the setting that is being used here, but the default setting on TradingView and most platform is 20 moving average, 20 period moving average, which is this upper bound here, 20 up and 20 beneath, and we have the 40 moving average plotted at the middle. Okay, so now the indication on how you can take trade using Bollinger Bands is that you pick your trade at the lower band and you take an exit at the upper band. So you want to wait for price to drop. So, and if you check clearly right here from just scrolling alone, you will see that prices have always respected that. So whenever it comes to the lower band, you should be looking for an entry. Okay, you should be looking for an entry, and your exit point should be at the upper band, because price always respects and stays within the band if it's not too volatile. So for an asset that is very volatile, at times for some traders, they increase the deviation, the standard deviation, to like maybe from 2 to 3 or even more than that. But the default setting most platform we use is 2 standard deviations. Okay. So do anybody have question on how Bollinger Band is being used? Do anybody have any question regarding Bollinger Bands? Can't see your screen. We can see your screen. I'm not seeing your screen, sir. So does that mean the prediction of the moving average for MA is also applicable for the moving average of Bollinger Bands, MACD, and the rest? So yeah, the depending on what is being plotted on. So most of this. So the prediction of the MA, yeah, definitely. So for example, on our MACD, MACD is using a moving average and the convergence divergence. So the convergence is when they are converging and they are diverging. So when moving average, when I'm on MACD, the price is converging, you know that it's dropping. So when it's diverging back, it's diverging upside. So that's why we use the golden cross. Okay. So whenever prices is converging, it's moving downward. When it's diverging, it's moving upward. So it's still the moving average that is being plotted in it. So it's still the same period thing. And whenever you are able to, so you are really free to manipulate those tools. But on our Royal Q platform, it's just the default setting, and they gave us the best settings for what really works. Okay, so the settings that are already here, you can manipulate them, but they are best settings. As you can see, if you check past price history, that's just the analogy behind it, and it works. So if there's any question on Bollinger Bands, I'll be glad to just answer that. If not, we'll move to the next indicator. So is there any question?
Yeah, I have a question, leader brother.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, my question is I don't know if possible, can we set up the Bollinger Band on our trading view if possible, so that we'll be able to look at the settings. You spoke about the 2 deviation and on like that. So we're able to know how to be able to put in the settings and what are the details we need. And then secondly, I was going to ask the MA, that's the moving average, is it also different from the MACD, or they are both the same thing, if I may ask? Thank you.
So for the settings, right, on our trading view, I don't know if that's possible tonight. I'll try my best to make sure I give for the settings. I'll show us how we can do our settings on trading view. If not today, to be our next class. For the other question you said, so you said your other question was?
Okay, my other question is the MA. I know MA is moving average. What's the difference between the moving average and the MACD?
So the what you want to know is that your MACD, right, is still the moving average that is being plotted within it, right? But then the way MACD works is that it's calculating, it's just using the moving average to give you the best time that prices are being converging. So when it's calculating our trend, okay? So it's giving you indication. So it gives you the indication on when price is diverging and when it's converging. So which is giving you when and they are crossover in price. So now, you know that just with your moving average, right? You can add multiple moving average, right, to identify trend. You can use this at your support and resistance level to also know when price is moving in an upward direction or a downward direction. So when prices are converging and diverging, right? So it's a confluence, right? So, and it's giving you an entry point. So when we are doing our analysis, we know that what we are looking for when we do our analysis, once we identify the trend of the market, right, is to look for additional confluences to take trade, right? And your MACD is doing exactly that for you, to know when is the right time that price is going to move upward and when is the exact point that is doing that. So when price is converging, right, is converging and is going in the upward direction. When it's diverging, right, is moving downward. Okay, so when you are having your crossover and you know that the theory behind your MA is when that the shorter period now is crossing the longer period, is telling you that price is going where? Upward, right? So which means price is converging upside. So when it's diverging, right? When you are seeing price is diverging and it has a crossover, that the higher period now is crossing the lower time, you know that what? Price is moving downward, okay? So, and it does all of this using the moving average. So I hope I was able to answer your question. If you cannot manipulate real Q using exchange, you can use
Yeah.
to explain. Yeah, definitely we'll be using the trading view also to give more examples. But what I just have you to know is that the settings that are on Royal Q are perfect. There are settings that are there because they work. But if what is there for more advanced use, so if you want to do even more stuff, you can use trading view, and definitely we'll be using trading view to shed more light on it. Cheesy Norris. So for our RSI, before I move to our MACD, so I think even the MACD already, so that means we understood our Bollinger Bands, right? For how we can use it to take our entries, right? So if you understand the Bollinger Bands, just type 1 in the chat box before we move to the next indicator. If everybody here understood our Bollinger Bands, please type 1.
I think we should take questions because of time. We'll continue the rest Bollinger Band some other time.
Okay, leader sure. So that already, I think even doing just two indicators, it will be now confusing if we do multiple indicators. So we'll continue with the other indicators in our next classes. And before we even move to the other indicators, I would make sure I go through all those indicators that we talked about this night, which is the MA and the Bollinger Bands. We'll do few settings on our trading view, so giving you more advanced settings on how you can really manipulate them and use them on your trading view. Since we've talked about them and we've gone the explanation tonight, please please throw more light on the difference moving average calculation. So the different moving average calculation is that, okay, if you are calculating your moving average, right, you know that, okay, if you are having your MA5, okay, so now depending on the time frame you are trading on, right, so if you have 15 minutes, I hope I'm still sharing my screen. Am I? Yeah. Okay, so now we are on 1 hour here, right? So when I have my MA here, so the average price here, right, of Bitcoin in the last 5 period is this. So I will just be explaining using the MA5, okay? So the last five period of BTC is averaging 117,852.27 cents, okay? So which means we are on our 1 hour time frame. The average price of Bitcoin in the last 5 periods. So the period that we are talking about is that we know that each candle here lasts 1 hour. Okay, so now I want to count 5 of this candle. So now I then pick the price that Bitcoin closes. So the closing price. So now I know that when we did our anatomy of candlesticks, we talked about where prices open and where it closes, right? So we say prices open in a particular point. When it's bullish, when it's bearish, it closes in a particular price. So now the last 5 candles, right, we pick the closing price of each of them. So for example, let's say the first 1, 2, we have 4 candles here now, and we have 5. Okay, this one closes at around 120, this one closes at around 115, this one closes at around 116, this one closes at around 117, and this one closes at around 118. Okay, so now what we are doing now is that we pick each of these prices, we plus them together, and we do the average. Okay, and it will give us this. That's what we are doing with MA. Okay, so now instead of me worrying about what is the price that this the price has been doing in all of these periods here, okay, I just pick just the 5 period, okay, the last 5 period, and I calculate, and I leave all of these other prices, I leave them behind. Okay, I'm interested in this last 5 candle. What did the price do? So now I'm calculating now the last 5 period, and I'm doing the average. So it's now giving me, and I'm now using that now to compare the last the last period. What's the price that I'll be expecting? So is it going higher or is it going lower? Okay. So if I compare the last 5 average now, the last 5 period to the last the 10 period, which is higher, there now will be giving me an idea of is price going bullish or is it going bearish? So definitely, if the price is lower than the last 10, it's just indicating for me that it's a downtrend, which means I know that it's even a more conducive price for me to buy. I can even wait more and see what price will do, if it's going to continue to average down, or is it going to move upward. Okay, for the person who said I should explain better. So is there any other question? Mr. Chimzinoris, please, do you understand? So is there any other question? If there is no other question, okay. I'm glad that you do understand. Okay. So if there's no other question, I'll share. I'll just call on you so that we close today's class.
All right, good evening, everybody. Tomorrow we have our prospect meeting. Please make sure you invite your prospects. Thank you so much, and bye.